Never Give Up by Winston Churchill. Almost a year passed since I came down here at your headmaster's kind invitation in order to cheer myself and cheer the heart of a few of my friends by singing some of our own songs. The 10 months that have passed have seen very terrible and catastrophic events of the world, ups and downs, misfortunes. But can anyone sitting here this afternoon not feel deeply thankful for what has happened in the time that has passed, and for the very great improvement in the position of our country and of our home? Well, when I was here last time, when we were quite alone, desperately alone, and we had been for 5 or 6 months, we are poorly armed. We are not so poorly armed today, but then we were very poorly armed. We had the unmeasured menace of the enemy and their air attacks still beating upon us. And you yourself had experience of these attacks. And expect you are beginning to feel impatient that there has been this long lull with nothing particular turning up. But you must learn to be equally good at what is short and sharp, and what is long and tough. It is generally said that the British are often better at the last. They do not expect from crisis to crisis. They do not always expect that each day will bring up some noble chance of war. But when they very slowly make up their minds that the things has to be done and the job put through and finished, then even if it takes months, if it takes years, they do it. Another lesson I think we may take just throwing our minds back to our meeting here 10 months ago and now is that appearances are often very deceptive, as Kipling well said. We must meet triumphs and disasters and treat those imposters just the same. You cannot tell from appearance how things will go sometimes. Imagination makes things out for worse than they are. Yet without imagination, not much can be done. Those people who are imaginative see many more dangers than perhaps exist, certainly many more than will happen. But then they must also pray to be given that extra courage to carry this far-reaching imagination. But for everyone, surely what we have gone through in this period, I am addressing myself to the school. Surely from this period of 10 months, this is the lesson. Never give in. Never give in. Never. Never, never, never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in, except to convictions or honor of good sense. Never yield to force. Never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy. We stood all alone. A year ago, and to many countries, it seems that our account was closed. We were finished. All these traditions of ours, our songs, our school history, this part of the history of this country, were gone and finished and liquidated. Very different is the mood today. Britain, other nations thought had thrown a sponge across the surface. But still our country stood in the gap. There was no flinching and no thought of giving in by what seemed almost a miracle to those outside. This island, though we ourselves never doubted it, we now find ourselves in a position where I say that when we can be sure that we have only the perseverance to conquer. You sang here a verse of school song. You sang that extra verse written in my honor, which was very greatly complimented by and which you have repeated today. But there is one word in it I want to alter. I wanted to do last year, but I did not venture to. It is the line, not less we praise in darker days. I have obtained the headmaster's permission to alter darker to sterner, not less we praise in sterner days. Do not let us speak of darker days. Let us speak rather than sterner days. The greatest day of our country has ever lived, and we must all thank God that we have been allowed, each of us according to our stations, to play part in making this day memorable in the history of our race.